Hey everyone, welcome. Hold on. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we have a packed show for you. We're going to cover some recent news regarding Cyberpunk 2077, um, Returnal. There's like a good breakdown on Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier. We're going to look at some hardware, the Polymega, the Analogue Pocket, and at the end, we're going to talk about a resurrection of the PlayStation Home. So let's jump right in with our first story. All right. So CD Projekt Red believes Cyberpunk will be considered a very good game in the long run. And then look at this um tagline here. It will sell for years, especially as hardware gets more powerful and we improve the game. Um, so this story was kind of big because it just people didn't like the tone that this guy had. So let's look at this. Um, Speaking in a new interview with Polish economic newspaper, I can't even say that. Can you say that?
Hell no.
Adam Kaczynski. That looks like Kaczynski, right?
Yes, it looks like it, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. So if we're saying it wrong, we
Yeah,
apologize. But it looks like
yeah.
Kaczynski.
We apologize profusely to our Polish audience.
Yes. Um, so he argued that the brand awareness generated by the game means it will eventually be seen as a success, despite its rocky launch last December. Cyberpunk 2077 is the biggest, most ambitious, and definitely the most complicated project in our 27-year history, Kaczynski said. In almost every aspect, we tried to take it a step further, just as we've done with every Witcher game we've ever released. Releasing a game in a new franchise brings many challenges and risks, especially when the concept is so complex. We brought to life a huge, vibrant, futuristic city called Night City, where the characters' non-linear stories take place. We're proud of many aspects of the game, but as we know, not everything went our way. Nevertheless, the brand awareness of Cyberpunk that we've managed to build is huge. In the game universe, its characters and details have fans all over the world. We believe that in the long run, Cyberpunk 2077 will be perceived as a very good game, and like our other titles, it will sell for years, especially as the hardware gets more powerful over time and we improve the game. We're working on updates all the time, and we're also working on a version for the latest generation of consoles. Of course, the original release taught us a lot. It gave us a kick and motivated us to make changes that will make us better in the future. Um, Kaczynski also reiterated that the game would be receiving no more updates in 2021 and that the next gen version will be released in the first quarter of 2022 alongside a large version 1.5 patch. Um, the decision to postpone the next gen version of Cyberpunk was a difficult one, but we are confident that it was the right one, especially since it was clearly recommended by our development team, he said. We need the extra time to fine tune the visuals and performance of the game to be as high quality as possible throughout the game. So there you have it. And then here's a an updated roadmap. So here you have 2021, and then here's where 2022 starts. Um, I can't really read it. It's kind of
It's kind of
yeah.
it's a low quality
It's a low
JPEG.
res. Yeah. So I'm not going to go in that. But anyways, so yeah, that story. It's seen on its head. It seems kind of like okay, he's just saying this in an economic uh, forum, right? So it's not like he's speaking to gamers, right? He's speaking to this economic forum, so his take is very like business oriented. You know what I mean? But what I got from it is that he values the brand recognition more than the state of their actual product. That's what it seems to me when I read it. And that's why I think a lot of people took issue with this interview because they're like, what? Yes, you can build the brand awareness of a product and do this huge hype push, which Cyberpunk had for many years. But then if you release crap, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like that should hurt you long term. It really should. But he sees it as, oh no, it's gonna hurt us short term because we got this brand recognition. Eventually, it's gonna be a good game, and people are gonna reward us for it. That's what I got from it. I mean, what do you think about it?
So it's interesting how people can get different, you know, in, what's it called? Infer different emotions or feelings from the same situation.
Yeah.
Uh, like from you reading it, I found it to be optimistic.
Hmm.
And if anything, there's been a lot of modern day success stories. I'm looking at No Man's Sky.
Hmm.
I'm looking at Final Fantasy 14, where they initially came out with, subpar game, but there was something there that they worked on, and they chiseled, they sculpted something out of the marble that they had before.
Hmm.
So you, out of both of us, are the only one that's played Cyberpunk to completion.
Yes. Yeah.
Would you say that game is trash from what you played?
No. I never said it was trash. No, it's not trash.
Well, you,
Um.
you you said earlier that, like if you build something like that's trash, at the very beginning, and
Oh no.
then try
Yeah.
to be like, and I know what you're inferring. It's kind of
Yes.
hyperbolic, but I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
trying to kind of like make sure that we're all on the same line here in terms of how we feel about Cyberpunk 2077 as a game,
Yes.
as it stood even from the onset, because you played it when it first came out,
Yes.
before even some of these more recent patches.
Yeah. So I played it all the way through, um, and it crashed on me so many times, and there were so many bugs, and the
And
overall.
you played on the PS5, correct?
Yeah, I played it on the PS5. I played the PS4 version on the PS5. I know the PC version was a little bit better because they usually develop for PC first.
Well, the best version was on Stadia, apparently.
Oh, okay. um, now, but my issue isn't with the fact that the game could be really good, right? It's not. Yes, it can be really good, right? I believe that, right? And I believe if they had released it, under the right circumstances where the game was working well, and there was enough um, complexity in the systems that they promised, but they failed to do, right? The driving system obviously is one, and then in there he was saying like non-linear storylines, but that wasn't the case when I played. The storyline was extremely linear, and it didn't vary that much depending on the class you picked. Did they change it? They changed a lot of things, right? I would have to go back and re-experience it, again to see all the new improvements and everything. That being said, when I played it through, I enjoyed it to the extent that I was like, oh, okay, when the game's working and it's running right, I'm enjoying the game, right?
Yes.
So I totally see the potential. I see what he's talking about. My problem is with the attitude of there's no big deal for us to release games in this state because in the end it's going to be fine and we're going to make money. That's what I get from his attitude. And
Did he say specifically that it's okay to release games in this state?
no,
Because I'll tell you right
no,
now that I didn't infer that from what you wrote to me, or
yeah,
what you read to me.
yeah,
And I can tell you as well that I'm incredibly upset with Cyberpunk 2077 slash CD Projekt Red,
yeah,
because I was super hyped for the game. I bought that world preview book or whatever,
hmm,
and that was like $100 for like the deluxe version, which when it first came out, which I should have waited because I thought it was gonna be like rare or something. Anyways, I got the collector's edition of the game, the collector's edition strategy guide. I was super hyped for it, pre-ordered all that stuff, and it came out to be a buggy mess, at least on report.
Hmm.
So I've delayed even playing the game because I want to have the most optimum experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to judge it on the bugs. So essentially, I've kind of bought into like I've sponsored them, if you will. Like I paid for an alpha,
Hmm.
and I'm still waiting for the patches in order to like complete the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which sucks because it's been over a year now,
Yes. Yeah.
and they're nowhere near. I mean, like I already fully expect them to create PS5 and Xbox Series X console versions rather than
Hmm.
playing the PS4 the because I have the Xbox One version. I was expecting there to be a Series X type situation, but haven't gotten there yet. And yeah, I'm super frustrated. I think this is a thinking in the games industry that's been happening for a while. It's not just CD Projekt Red where people are releasing, and it's mostly Western developers to be honest,
Yeah.
releasing buggy games.
It is. You're right.
Uh,
It is mostly Western developers.
and
Yeah.
that is an industry-wide problem that really we should not let pass. And I'm definitely guilty of pre-ordering and then purchasing this type of not this type of game, but I'm kind of actively participating in this kind of behavior, and I
Yeah.
really need to stop. Vote my wallet, stop pre-ordering, don't purchase a game or return the game when something like this happens. I did the same thing with shoot, I forget what buggy game, but either way, like I think that's the only recourse that we can do aside from vocally telling game developers like, hey, we don't like this approach. This is not consumer friendly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think fundamentally we both agree on this
Yes.
situation. Yeah.
Yes.
I just I just took what he was saying as being a little cavalier.
Flippant.
Yeah, a little flippant.
I feel
Um,
that.
so this is something interesting. So have you ever heard of the lean business model?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it. I'm gonna butcher it because I don't have like it drilled in my head like exactly what it means. But essentially, one of the tenets or the lean startup, one of the tenets is like releasing. I'm sure you've heard of this. You release the minimum viable product,
Okay.
and then you iterate upon it, right, and improve it,
Yes.
right.
Okay.
So I was like, why are we getting so many products, especially digital products, that are just not finished? You know what I mean? It's not just games. I mean, it's a lot of things, right?
Yes.
And I was reading this article where this guy was like, this idea of the minimum viable product really blew up from this book, The Lean Startup. And but in the book he was saying that people misunderstood the meaning of it. The meaning of it isn't to release a minimum viable product. It's to release a minimum product that has the core fully fleshed out and working properly. And then when you release the core, right? So like for example,
I'm seeing Street Fighter 5 right now.
yeah, Street Fighter 5 is a great example. So for example, Street Fighter 5 they released a game where it was all online, right? There was no arcade mode. The menus looked horrible. It was all placeholder text. The story modes were not good. There
There,
was no.
was there a story mode
There was a
in the
story
in the
mode.
original?
Yeah.
But it would like ended with like animated end cards.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
The
And
story.
there was barely any characters
There was
too.
barely any characters. So they released a minimum viable game, right? But
Yeah, but here's the thing. Not compared to Cyberpunk,
yeah,
it wasn't a buggy mess. It
it
played
worked.
incredibly well.
It
Yes.
worked. Yeah. So but I will say this: the point is not to release it and then just build from there. The point of that whole methodology is you don't even know if it's going to work in the market. That's why you do it, right? So, for example, if you come up with a new idea of a new genre of game
Yes.
and you release the single player campaign, right? Or you release a multiplayer mode, That's the minimum viable, but it has to work really well. It has to be as bug free as it can get, and it has to convey what you're trying to give to the user in a very
It's
good way.
you sound like Halo Infinite right now.
Exactly. Halo Infinite did it right. And um,
But they released that for free, and they even called it a beta.
exactly. They were very smart with it, right? So, oh, my camera just died. um,
Oh no.
anyways, so the point I'm trying to make it is if you're gonna do that, it's only for market research purposes, right?
Mm.
Cyberpunk and a lot of these games, they already know people want it. You know what I mean? Because the fan outreach was huge when people announced it. People wanted it. They already knew they wanted it. So in that case, it makes no sense. So it's only for target or testing the market waters, and you still have to release a core product that works well. So I think a lot of people are misunderstanding minimum viable product, and I think it goes back to what you said. A lot of people are, unfortunately, you and me, we're part of it too, supporting it by pre-ordering a lot of these games,
Correct.
because they get the money, up front for a lot of pre-orders, especially the digital ones,
Yeah.
and they can just say, "Oh wow, we're making money," and then their focus is on we're going to be rich versus okay, we got to get this product out so people like it. They already got the money. You know what I mean? They already got the reward. So yeah, that is definitely a big issue. And you're right, it's a difficult problem. And unless we all kind of band together and stop pre-ordering these unfinished games, and this goes into why I've really switched over to buying like physical versions of indie games,
Mm.
because a lot of the times when you buy them, like especially from limited run, the game's already been out a couple years. It's already had all its patches. It's already had all its DLC. The game's complete. The game works well. You know what I mean? You're buying a complete game that runs really well and it's been tested.
Well,
Um,
not just that, but it's mostly I think what was it called? I think it was Celeste, where they delayed even releasing it they did this with Panzer Dragoon as well, where they delayed releasing it so that the patches could be on the
yes,
physical cart.
yeah, yeah. And so if you look at that difference between the indie world and the AAA world, where they're just releasing games bare minimum and then patching them, as they go along.
But we're also talking the difference of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way Limited Run is pulling in the kind of money that something like Cyberpunk sold. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, no, you're right, you're right.
Um, I mean, my collector's edition is really nice looking. But that's about it. It has some really cool stuff in it, but I haven't played the game yet. So I hope for their sake that this roadmap I don't like ends sooner than later. Like
Yeah,
I want the complete experience, and I would like to experience it at its best, its most optimum.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, nobody wanted for them to fail. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no one expected them to
yeah,
fail like this either.
yeah. We all wanted the game to be a success because we wanted to play it. So, it's not like people are just being haters. It's just we're just
Yeah.
disappointed. That's what it is. We're disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. That's the one thing you can say to someone that might actually change their behavior.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not upset with you.
I'm just disappointed. You're so much better than that, CD Project Red. You're so much better than that. All right, next up. All right, you're gonna like this.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's
s- so
that's Rapo.
yes, okay. So um, you beat this is from Housemark, who made Returnal,
Yes.
and this is obviously a Returnal post. It says Astropos #Returnal. Now, the interesting thing about this tweet is that, for one, Astropos is the planet that you crash on, right?
Yes. Atropo, not Astropo.
Okay, at Atropo. is the
Or
planet.
Atropos. Sorry.
Atropos is the planet
Yeah.
that you crash on.
Hmm.
It's a Greek name, I think. Um, so there's this image here, right? And a
Okay.
lot of people are saying that they have no idea where this is in the current game. So because they don't know where this is in the current game, a lot of people are suspecting that this is actually something new. This is a new image, new content. And if you look at the post, it says Atropos question mark, and
Okay.
that leads me to believe that they're like, is it gonna be on the same planet? You know what I mean? Or is it
Mm.
gonna be in a new location?
It's like, is this Atropos?
Yeah, yeah. It
So I just looked it up, and Atropos is from Greek mythology. It was one of the three fates, and Atropos's name means unalterable or inflexible.
okay. Um, holy crap! My camera keeps dying. That is so weird.
Is it just not connected to a power source?
No, it is. It's just I don't know what's going on. I just got this camera too, which is very frustrating. But okay, yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it's looking like it's going to be DLC?
That would be cool. I'd be excited for it. I think it's more likely DLC than it is like a new game. So that they can kind of build on the goodwill of Returnal. And a lot of people argued even then, uh, was Returnal worth the $70?
$70,
80?
yeah.
Yeah, $70. So to give more content, it would probably increase more sales, hopefully. But I love that game. That game's practically my game of the year this year, and I would love nothing more than to see more of that game. I actually, after beating it, I haven't returned, and I haven't returned. Funny enough,
I
and
haven't returned.
yeah, I know exactly. I've been meaning to because I really do kind of want to do like a platinum run. But geez, is that game hard?
Yeah, it's a very hard game.
Yeah, but they made it easier with their save patch.
Yes, that is if you want to use it. You don't have
Yep.
to use it.
Yep.
So the core gameplay can be as hard as you want it to be, which I appreciate. Um, so yeah, I mean I think that would be a good move for them to expand upon it because yeah, it's you know what it's going to be in a few years. It's going to be a hidden gem.
Yeah,
It's exactly what
definitely.
it's going to be. Yeah,
Yeah, because
and
it's not mainstream enough.
no, 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 no. And a lot of
and and,
people
and the
were
difficulty is one of the reasons.
yes, yeah, and it's a launch title. It's a launch title, which means there was a lot of copies made.
Yeah.
But it would be cool if they released DLC in a couple years, release like an anniversary edition or something with all the content on it.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, like kind of like Death Stranding.
yeah, yeah. By the way,
Um,
public
what's up?
service announcement: Death Stranding on PC on Steam is on sale now. It's like under $20.
Oh dang!
Yeah, it's
I
like
almost bought the PS5 version, but it's still a little bit pricey.
yeah,
For me, it's not pricey. They dropped it down to $40 for as a sale.
hmm
But as a person that purchased the collector's edition of the game, like I need it to be a little bit cheaper for me to like double dip.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even though I love that game, it's like I've got other games I can play.
yeah. The PC version is like under $20 right now. So
Yeah, no, that's a steal, and
yeah,
I would suggest everyone to get that. I freaking love that game.
yeah, and the PC version looks beautiful.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say something hyperbolic
Okay.
for everyone that has a PS5 and has been on the fence on Returnal. Returnal is the best Metroid game this year.
Oh, oh, snap. I got to do something, man. I got to do something, bro.
It's the best Metroid game. Metroid Dread brought back a lot of like this old school stuff.
Oh,
Hey, oh, look at
snap.
that. Nice.
Should I
Mike's
just
back there.
throw this in my fireplace right now and light it on
Yeah.
fire?
Yeah, Dark Souls bonfire. Like I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Metroid Dread and 100%ed it, but they didn't they went back to form, which
hmm
is fine, and they didn't like take the game forward exactly. Like Returnal, like the gameplay in terms of exploration and combat, so good.
It's it
So
it
good.
really is a pioneering game. It
Yes.
really is.
Yes.
You're right. Metroid Dread is. I beat it. I loved it. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But this game is pioneering. I mean, this is
Yeah.
some new shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. The only thing is that they just need, like, I think the DLC, if this is going to be DLC, it's going to be stuff that was left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
That didn't make it to the base game, and I'm okay with that. The base game was a lot of fun. I definitely put my time into it,
Mhm.
and I'm more than happy to return for more.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
Eternal for more.
wouldn't it be now like Returnal, the way it's made and everything, obviously it works well on consoles.
Mm.
Wouldn't it be very interesting to see a game like that on an arcade machine?
Oh, easily, yeah,
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
yeah.
I don't know
No,
how they would do it though with the control
oh,
setup.
dude, that 8 direction definitely.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, shout outs anyone who has beaten Returnal using a joystick. If you
Yeah.
if you have played it using a joystick, let us know in the comments.
The Electric Underground, that dude would do that.
Yeah, yeah, he would. Um, okay, so yeah, that's it for Returnal. Next up, Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier review, not mobile play friendly. So there's so this article is good in that it tells you, you know, some of the things that are good or bad with the game. But there's a really good video on YouTube about it. Actually, we can pull it up real quick so you guys can see. It's
You don't want when this kind of like what's it called? Don't you get
we're
copyright
not gonna
stricken?
play it. I just want people to see it.
Okay,
Because it's a good video. This guy Nerd
gotcha.
Knight, Final
Cool.
Fantasy VII: The First Soldier beta, an honest review, the good, the bad. So this is really good. Go watch this video. He'll give you a good breakdown. But as far as this article goes, I'm just gonna read this one part right here. The most frustrating aspects of Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier is the mobile gameplay interface. During a lengthy tutorial, players are taught how to use melee weapons, materia, and firearms in physical movements, all of which require a touch-enabled selection on the screen. For those playing on a standard mobile device like a phone, the screen becomes cluttered with controls. Once in the designated combat area, which is very similar to Fortnite's slowly shrinking maps, toggling between the needed weapons, items, and materia is not only frustrating, but can be deadly in game with a second's hesitation while navigating the interface, leading to a potential knockout. That's most games. The control issues are made worse by Final Fantasy VII's signature detailed graphics. The limited dimensions of standard mobile devices make the realistic details and terrain hard to view. Monsters and enemy players can easily be hidden by the interface buttons or be
Yikes.
indiscernible at a distance, creating issues both for aiming guns and stealthy attacks. Additionally, the fully rotatable camera is hard to spin and focus when being attacked, leaving players to shoot blindly at attackers instead of using any strategies that could be present with the provided gear and classes. So, uh, the video that I saw, the guy was like, the game has potential. It can be fun, and they actually do a unique thing with the battle royale, making it more Final Fantasy, especially with the use of materia, right? So there's different materia you can use
Mm.
in the game that help you win fights. But he brought up that some people, when they play mobile games, they plug in a Bluetooth controller, or I guess you can't
Okay.
plug it in, but
Yeah, I mean, like I'm able to connect my PS4
yeah.
controller to my
So
phone.
that's a preferred way of a lot of people to play these more complicated mobile games, especially one where you have to move around and shoot.
Yeah,
the
I'm looking at Castlevania.
The problem is that the controls don't work with this game. So
So it doesn't even have the capability of using
You can,
a
but there's
physical
no way
controller.
to use materia and other options in the game on the controller. So the
Damn.
game
Okay.
literally will not function properly right now in its current state using a Bluetooth controller. So you kind of have to use the touchscreen. Um, so that being said, the guy brings up a good point. We when we discuss mobile games, we say, "Oh, it's a mobile game. This is good for a mobile game. This is or this is okay for a mobile game." But what he's bringing up is that we should look at it more as just a game and not excuse the platform it's on. Right? And his case is that this game should be on PC and consoles. It should not be on a yes, you could put it on a cell phone too, but this game would he believes this game would actually thrive on PCs and consoles. It could actually be a good game where you have high quality controls, better movement options, and you could bump up the graphics a little bit, right? And I
Yes.
agree watching the video. The game looks like it could be fun, actually. But the thought of me having a phone with all these like touch screen controls just kind of like cluttering the screen and you barely being able to see anything immediately turns me off and I don't even want to touch it.
I mean, it's definitely the author's fault. They should have been using a tablet.
You can use a tablet, I know, but
That was a joke.
most people are going to be on their phone, I would say. Um,
No, of
but
course.
yeah, what do you think? Do you think we should stop like looking at games as just mobile games and just kind of judging them for what they are, you know? Or do you think we're not there yet?
Uh, I really don't think we're there yet. There is such a divide between what gets released on
Hmm.
mobile in terms of games and what gets released on consoles that expectations in
Hmm.
general are completely different. So, and not just that, but the pricing structure is so different. I mean, you're
Yeah,
getting this
yeah,
game for free, right? And then you pay in by buying. It's a gotcha game, so you pay in by buying whatever fake currency they have attached to the game to get
yes.
in-game items. So, in that regard, that kind of system, aside from maybe Genshin Impact, I don't see it being really prolific in the console game space. Uh, Yeah. No,
There's,
I mean, we expect differently from mobile games, and we get differently, and they're priced differently. Um, and that's why mobile games are the way they are, and that's why we speak of them that way. Now, when we get a release like Knights of the Old Republic on mobile or Grand Theft Auto on mobile, and we're playing console games on mobile, even in terms of gameplay, we expect it to not even work well. Like when I spoke of Castlevania, I really meant it. Like I bought Castlevania Symphony of the Night when it first released on mobile because I was like, I'm super hype. I can have
yeah,
this on the go. But my expectation was, but the controls are gonna
yeah,
freaking suck
yeah,
on touchpad, and they do. It is unplayable. The only saving grace is that I can go ahead and attach a PS4 Bluetooth to it, and then in that case, I'm like, I'm not going to be rolling around with my
a
phone and
controller.
and a hard controller.
Yeah,
You know, that defeats the
it
purpose
does. It
completely.
totally does.
So in specific to this game, I could say that it is poorly
Yes.
optimized for mobile. And if this person sees this game as having an opportunity on consoles and PCs, then I'm all for it. When this was first unveiled or revealed, the Final Fantasy games that were coming to mobile, I was like,
Yeah,
nope, I'm not gonna touch them. I'm not gonna touch them because I don't want to play a
yeah,
mobile gotcha game. Now, if they brought this gotcha game to consoles, would I play it? I'd probably give it a shot.
yeah,
I'd give it a try,
yeah.
and then take it from there.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with your assessment. But I also agree with the guy that there's at some point there's going to be a time where we just have to judge mobile games as games. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, we're probably not there yet. There is a big disparity with the types of
Yeah.
games. But this
Like I don't know how many Fortnite players, how many top tier Fortnite players strictly only play on mobile.
probably zero. Probably zero. I think I think they might play on mobile for fun if they're just traveling around. Yeah.
For funsies,
But
exactly.
yeah, it's just not the same. But yeah, um, yeah, it's one of those things where it kind of went the way we thought it would go. Like it'll be fun for a day or
Exactly.
two, and then you're just gonna get really frustrated at the controls, and you're gonna quit. Or you're gonna
Pretty
enjoy
much.
it, but then you're gonna get frustrated at the gotcha mechanics, and you're gonna quit. Um,
Man, your
Dude,
camera
it's never
sucks.
done this before. I mean, the last few episodes, it never turned off. Um, it's
Just face it. Just face it,
I
Geo.
know,
You
right?
ugly.
I know. Let me
Camera's like I'm doing the world a
let
favor.
me let me try something here. There was a little viewfinder open. I closed it. Maybe that could have been the issue. Okay. So
Mm-mm.
next up, exclusive. Polymega's next module brings Nintendo 64 support, along
Oh
with the
snap!
RC05 Ultra Retro controller from Retrobit. Um,
Oh, is that an N64
no,
stock
no, it's
controller?
a well, you can use a stock one if you want, but oh
No,
yes,
style. I said
yeah,
style,
this
not
is a
stock. Yeah.
stylized one made by Retrobit. And for those that are unfamiliar,
Nice.
Retrobit makes a lot of really good third-party retro controllers.
Yeah, they made some fantastic Sega Genesis and
Yes,
Sega Saturn
I have
ones
them.
that were officially
Yeah.
licensed by Sega, no less.
Um, so this is a very long interview, but here okay.
Give us
The
the
highlights
highlights.
are a lot of people wanted a N64 um, kind of like a newer console to play N64 games and better graphics. So a lot of people asked them for it, and they said, "Okay, we'll do it next." All right. There's no release date. They're working on 90% compatibility out of the gate. So
I mean, they're having a hard time just releasing the
yeah,
Polymega itself.
the Polymega has been getting shipped already. My shipment probably isn't going to come till early 2022. The people who are very early adopters, a lot of them got theirs. And so far, a lot of people enjoy them. There's just not many of them. You know what I mean? That's why you're not hearing that much about them. There's just not many people with one.
The reviews that have been out have been
Yes.
primarily positive from
Yeah.
what I've seen.
So that being said, I aiming at 90% compatibility with the library, focusing on a good retro look, and yeah, I think it'll be a good first step at a N64, like a modernized console version. Now, that being said, would I prefer like an analog N64? Yes, but the complexity on doing that is way harder than doing like what Polymega is doing, which is emulation. So
But they're doing
uh,
FPGA,
Pol-
right? Or is it just straight up?
no,
I mean,
Polymega does
yeah.
not do FPGA. Yeah,
Okay.
um, uh,
But it's just very
it's
good
very good emulation. Yeah,
emulation.
with a lot of graphical options that make you able to configure the emulator in a good way, right? Not like Nintendo's
Yes.
N64.
Ouch. Ouch.
I
You
had
had,
to
you
go
had, you
there.
had to go there.
So yeah, I think
I took
yeah,
a
you
dig at
did take a
Metroid.
dig at Metroid. So I think it's uh, it's got good potential. I want to get the console first and try it out before I would even consider getting another module to it.
I'm literally waiting for you to get your console so I can
Yeah, you
debate whether I want
when
to
I
get it or
get it,
not.
you
Because
When
That money's expensive. Did you get the light
yeah,
gun as
yeah.
well?
So when I get it, you can come
Say,
over and try it out and see if you like it. Um, so yeah, I think it's cool. I like that they're being proactive and already moving on to their next project. So yeah, I think it's a positive thing. I just want to get mine first, and there's a lot of people
of
who are
course,
waiting to
of
get
course.
theirs too. So hopefully the supply chain resolves more next year, because I know it's going to be crazy this holiday season. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a good step for them. It would be the first. And also, I want to say, modding an original N64 is no easy task because you have to like getting your hands on an HDMI kit is so hard. I mean, they're very hard to get. No,
Did you
I
get one?
missed it. It's hard to get, and then you have to send it.
I remember yeah,
Yeah,
I
and then
remember
you
you
have to
told me about
send
it.
it to a modder if you're not a good modder. You have to send it to a modder to get it fixed and then send it back. So it's a very costly thing. Now they do have out of the box HDMI solutions, but they don't they don't look good at all. I mean, I just don't know how to say it. They just don't look good. So having like a Polymega uh, N64 module would be pretty cool. I have to admit that. Um, all right. Next up, speaking of analog, Analog confirms Pocket pre-orders will begin shipping mid-December.
Awesome for you. When can I get a pre-order?
I keep forgetting you weren't able to get it. Okay, so let me read this. Analog Pocket pre-orders will begin shipping on December 13th. Due to unprecedented shipping congestion, your order will ship and be delivered between December 14th
Oh,
and
that's
December
awesome.
30th. Yeah, that is amazing.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle, Timmy. Um, the way they said shipping congestion, it makes me feel like the ships need some kind of cough medicine or something. Uh, but okay, so this this is the console that a lot of retro enthusiasts are waiting for because this is gonna make playing like handheld games like next level, right? There's ways you can
Yeah, and so many in one
so many.
device.
It's got Neo Geo Pocket, Atari, Lynx. It's got Sega Game Gear, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. That's six consoles, six mini consoles. Yeah, that's
That's
insane.
insane. Yeah.
So, or six portable consoles. So, Analog never. Yes, they have some technical issues. I've had technical issues with their products, but they are very proactive and they're very responsive and they're very good at delivering, updates and just quality hardware. Um, so this is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm actually gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna be preparing various things like I'm gonna get some Ever drives for all the different portable consoles. I'm gonna get games to test out for every console. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. I can't wait to see how clean these games are gonna look. It
Oh yeah. Did you get the dock to connect it to to
yes,
the
yeah,
TV?
yeah, yeah. So it's gonna
Because I was playing freaking, and you saw me. I shared this with you.
yeah,
Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy player for the GameCube via GC
yeah,
HD connection to HD TV. I know there was a lot that I just threw at you, Gal, but the GC HD is just an HDMI solution for specific GameCubes, and the Game Boy player is
yeah,
the Game Boy player attachment that connects to the GameCube. So I was playing Metroid Fusion, and it looks
yes,
fine. Looks fine, but it definitely looks crisp and clear when you play it like on a Game Boy Advance SP, or the Game Boy Advance that you got me
yeah,
with an IPS screen. And so it's not the preferred way to play. But if the analog is capable of doing the capturing those impressive visuals and being able to do it seamlessly to a big screen. Oof, I'm gonna be so excited because I mean I purchased the Super Nintendo analog and the
Hmm.
Sega Genesis analog, and they both really are super impressive to the point where I don't even play on my original SNES or my original
Oh,
Genesis
really?
anymore. Yeah, because honestly, the games look incredible on HD screens. It's like practically 1-to-1. So I have no issue just keeping those consoles nice and safe, and just breaking out my what's it called? SG,
Yes.
SG analog, and
NT, NT,
NT,
Super
Super NT.
NT, Mega SG.
Yeah, yeah, there it is. And those are my preferred ways to play currently for those consoles. I didn't get the NES one, and uh, it was kind of
Yeah,
pricey.
it
It was
is.
a little too pricey for me, comparatively speaking, because it was like 500 versus 189 for the Mega SG and Super NT
Yes, it
each.
is. It's brushed aluminum. That's
So
why.
yeah, I mean, I don't need my console to like go to space,
And you don't even have that
but
big of a Nintendo collection. Yeah, yeah.
correct. I mean, there are Nintendo games that I enjoy playing, but I have a CRT that I can break out, and the CRT is still my preferred way to play older console games, except for when I have something like the Mega SG and the Super NT, where current gen or that generation of console is replicated or emulated to an extent that it is perfected on
Yes.
HD TV. That is the way I would
Yeah.
prefer to
Yeah.
play. I would like to see that kind of clarity on these older school consoles, especially PS2, which unfortunately has a host of video issues, as detailed by my
Yeah.
life and gaming
Yeah.
crew.
No, there's a lot of improvements that we're going to be seeing over the next many years to come.
That's why I was like lamenting that the Polymega doesn't have a PlayStation 2 module. I really would love to see PlayStation 2
Yeah.
successfully emulated. But it is cool that they have Sega Saturn and
Yeah,
Sega
now
CD.
I was able to secure a PS3 with the original PS2 chip inside.
Wait, do they have Sega Saturn
No,
or
it's
is it
Sega
just Sega
Saturn.
CD?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
so
just want
it's
to make sure.
all
Go on.
it's all the 240p consoles and down.
Yes.
It doesn't have where you start getting into the 48 the PS2, the Dreamcast, um and all the more advanced consoles. That that's like significantly harder. So I don't know
Yeah.
cuz yeah, they have emulators for them, but I don't know where that's going to if if their base model would even be able to do that because the base model has a CD built in. So I would assuming if
Yes.
they were going to go to the next generation, you have different formats. Like for example, the the Dreamcast uses a GD-ROM, and the
Okay.
Xbox has a DVD,
DVD.
and the PS2 has a DVD, right? Yeah. So
Correct.
it would just be you would just have to do one of the. You could do the Xbox and the PS2, or you could do the Dreamcast. You couldn't do both.
Well, one of the things about the PS2 is light gun games.
Yeah.
They have amazing light gun games on the PlayStation 2. Especially like the Dino Survivor, and Resident Evil 2. Not Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil Point. Shoot, Dead Aim.
I've never
Is
played
it
it.
Dead Aim? I think it's Dead Aim.
Okay.
Resident Evil Dead Aim, and then there's another Resident Evil shooting game that was based off of Code Veronica. That was Japan only, but I have it. And Vampire Knight, Ninja Assault. But then, because I mean, that's one of the reasons why I really want to try out that PlayStation 1, like Point Blank and Elemental Gearbolt. Like, I wonder how the light gun, because if they get the light gun technology to work, oh man, on HDTVs,
Yeah,
that's
there's
gonna be
there's
awesome.
actually a light gun that is open source right now. It's called um, Synology or something like that.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same tech that's being used for the
Yes, yeah.
Polymega light gun.
So that one I've seen videos of it. It looks pretty good. So I'm assuming it's gonna work pretty much the same as that. Um, so
Yeah.
all right, uh, our last story. This is a cool one. 6 years after its shutdown, PlayStation Home will be resurrected by fans. Players will be able to join public and private online lobbies again. Um, a fan group has managed to get PlayStation Home up and running again, enabling players to connect online. Destination Home is a non-profit project that has been trying to resurrect Home for a number of years and has an offline version available for download to play on either modded PS3 consoles or emulators. However, following collaboration with the PlayStation Online Network emulated fan group, PS1, uh, that's pretty cool. Destination Home has
Hmm.
now managed to make it possible to connect online again. According to the group, players will be able to connect online to Home and connect to public and private lobbies again by the end of this year. It also posted this trailer to show the restored online connections in action. I think if I mute this, it won't be copyrighted. Um, so yeah, so there you have it. Now you actually used this when it was in when it was actually functional, right?
Yep, I used it on the PlayStation 3 back in the day.
Now, how long was it
Go ahead.
up before they took it down? Because it wasn't on long, right?
That is a good question. Yeah, I think comparatively to the lifespan, I mean, I don't want to assume here.
I think the
Let me just
article
look it up.
says it.
But I didn't use it um like I got in, made an avatar, checked it out, and I was like, okay, this is not a game. Peace.
Yeah.
uh Initial release date was 2008 and it closed since March
But it says it
31st,
was still in
2015.
beta form that whole time.
I mean, it was
Okay,
never
okay.
fleshed out. You can just kind of like get on there as your avatar and then look for digital assets to fill in your your living space or your character.
Yeah, so this
And
is like
it
apartment right
just
here.
it's like what's it called? I don't want to say it's like Second Life. It's a
It's
Second
kind of
Life.
like GTA Online
But
in a way.
without any kind of functionality in terms of like interaction, like there's no shooting, there's no
No,
driving. It's just there's walking around and talking to
there's
people. You
mini
can
games
chat.
though. But
Yeah.
the the reason why this interests me is because this is a metaverse, right? PlayStation Home is a metaverse, right? And I know, yeah,
Ready Player
and I
One.
know metaverse is becoming this huge thing now. But if you look at PlayStation Home, what it was trying to accomplish is a metaverse, right? A world inside your PlayStation, right? Where you can meet with
Yes.
friends, you can have an apartment, you can play mini games together, you can hang out together, you can chat together. That is a metaverse. So, yeah, it's just very interesting that, you know what, Sony is always one of those companies where they do something extremely groundbreaking, but they do it so early that it just doesn't
Too
work.
early.
The PS
The
Vita
PS
is
Vita.
one, the PS Home,
The PS Vita was a Switch before the
exactly.
Switch came out.
It's and so it's just very, but it's also frustrating to see in the future and look back and be like, man, they made a metaverse in 2008. They just shut it down because they didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Vita. They made a Vita. They made a Switch uh, before the Switch was even realized, but they just they didn't know what to do with it, so they ended up handicapping it because they didn't want to deal with it. So it's very frustrating to see Sony has these great innovative ideas, but they just don't support them. You know what I mean? Google
Yes.
does that a lot too. A lot of big companies do that. But yeah, I just found it
Yeah.
interesting.
Google
Yeah.
Google Plus and currently Stadia's. I mean, I'm just waiting for Stadia to dip.
Yeah, they have a lot of sales. They're trying to push Stadia hard during Black Friday. I think you can get the whole package for $30 right now. But when I saw that, I was like, no. Even $30, like no.
Well, I mean, considering you have to purchase the games at full price,
Yeah.
nah. Might as well have it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
PC
If
if you
you
have
have
a
a PC,
PC.
yeah. Steam Deck. Steam Deck.
Dude, did we cover it? The delay, the
Uh,
shipping delay.
I can't remember. It's been a week. Last week I couldn't do it because something came
Yeah,
up. But yeah, so Steam Deck was delayed till Q1 of 2022. Unfortunately,
unfortunately.
it's supply issues. I mean, it's so commonplace now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
is supply issues. We're a supply
We
issue.
are. That's why you gotta take your vitamins. Take your vitamins. um, so yeah, that's it for this week. If you like any part of the episode, please like and subscribe. I uh, I actually updated our website over the weekend, over the break. Do you want to see it?
Rock on.
I changed it to kind of match the format of our the way the podcast is. Games I Beast. That's actually a cooler name. So I updated it. So now, oh yeah, I did cover it. Okay. So now I have it
Cool.
set up on the homepage where we have all our clips on there now, and we have all
Nice.
the podcasts up top. And then if you want, you can. It's all archived on here, so you can. I got to find a way to make these images work a little bit better. But
Yes.
yeah, here we got all the clips, so you can just click on a clip, and you can, I have comments. If you want to log in, you can leave comments. But I'm going to try to find a way to incorporate the YouTube comments on here. I think that'll be pretty cool. And I have a link to the podcast down below here. So if anyone wants to go straight to the podcast format, it's on here. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's it. Actually, you know what? I didn't even switch to the website. My bad. Yeah. Okay. Here it is again. Yeah. So gamesibeat.com. We got the full episodes. We have the clips.
No, you
No,
already showed those.
I forgot to switch the view over to the desktop. And then here, like I said, here's all our where you can find us. I'm gonna actually shut down the Facebook one. I don't like Facebook. I don't like using it. It's just not for me. I don't. So yeah, that's it for this week. I apologize for the technical issues. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
It happens
Yeah.
to the best of us.
And hopefully, Josie's good to go for in person next week. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everyone.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.